steady? What got it done here, do you think?
Oh, it was a really challenge to our playing group to, what does our best quarter look like? And, I thought some of the contests that our players, I thought Jordan Lewis and Michael Hibbard, their contests late in the game typified, a bit of a will and a want that this playing group had. And, we were certainly very strong in that phase of the game in the last quarter with our contest and our tackle. And that was probably the thing that really steadied the ship for us. We got back to what we're pretty good at.
Very strong statement of selection. Do you think those changes were warranted based on today's performance?
I don't know if they were warranted as such. It was more that it's a pretty simple philosophy. It was around, picking players that were in form, picking players that compete every time the ball comes in their area. And, we had that in the VFL team going really well, which was pleasing for our club to be able to do that. So I don't think it was necessarily a statement. I think it was just a group of coaches picking the team that they best felt represented our club in that phase of the game.
You haven't kicked 100 points since round 13 leading to today's game. Did you feel as though the reaching forward line sort of breathed new life into how you guys scored?
A lot comes down with your ball movement. We probably weren't connecting as well as we would have liked over the last couple of weeks. And in saying that, we played in two venues that were very windy, which made it challenging at times. Had quarters with the wind and against the wind, which challenged us in a range of different areas. But I thought today we connected a lot better. We turned our contest into a little bit more offence, and I thought that was a really pleasing phase of our game.
Was there a real focus to be bold and brave in the way you moved the ball today?
No, it's just more about how we connect and what we look like at our best. We understand that we haven't been connecting as well, especially we've been winning a bit of contests, but haven't been connecting with the ball. But today, I thought we got back to looking like the Melbourne footy team that we've been producing. It was pleasing that we had players prepared to obviously run from the back half and join in, and I thought it was a real team performance in that phase of the game.
Your destiny's in your own hands, which is a beautiful thing to have 2 weeks out.
Yeah, it is. We're still aiming to play our best footy, and I think that's the challenge of every team right now. It's certainly not where you sit now; it's where you sit at round 23, and I've said that a lot. And that's no different for this footy club. We've won today, but we know we've got important matches ahead, and Brisbane are playing some great footy. This competition's as ruthless as it's going to be, so we just have to prepare as best we can for each game, and try and play our best footy as often as we can. And that's the challenge for our group. We as a club wanted to be in this position where we had opportunity. We've got that, and I guess the challenge now is to really step up as a footy club.
Was your heart in your mouth when Angus Brayshaw, the head clash early, and then how do you think he played out the game?
I was pretty excited when he popped up. I thought he was terrific. His VFL form last week was sensational. He looked like an AFL player playing at VFL level, and I always said that he'd tell us when he was ready to play, and last week he showed us he was ready to play. And I thought today there were critical contests that he won, but he really linked up off our halfback as well, and we found a new asset in our back half of the ground.
What was your feelings there? I mean, you popped up, but your heart must have just been in your mouth.
Oh, you know how much he's been through and the family's been through. We have great empathy for the Brayshaw family. It's been a long process to get him back to full health. And, to see him come through that was, not necessarily a fitness test or anything, but he handled the contest extremely well, got back up, got playing, and it was away.
He's a weapon now, isn't he? I mean, he was amazing over the contest. He did exceptional things.
Yeah, we know he's got some, extreme talent. He's a really high draft pick, but he can mark the ball. He can certainly create off half back, and he's got some genuine speed. So he can be a really important player for us.
When the Saints started to get on top, what did you guys do wrong to allow that, or was it just more they were playing good footy?
They certainly played some pretty good footy. I thought their pressure in and around the contest was very good, and they seemed to link up quite well from those areas. So that was a challenge for us. We know that they're a good footy team in that area, and they've probably got on top of us around clearance as well. So I thought we responded really well once we had the 3/4 time break.
And you mentioned the clearances, and it said Billy Lyon got on top of Max Gawn. A fair few free kicks going Billy's way. What do you think happened there?
Yeah, it was an interesting duel. I think obviously Billy played some a really good game against Max. But I think we'll just have to go through each of those free kicks and have a look. Clearly we'll have to look at how the rule is and what Max is doing wrong. But 4 or 5 of those free kicks, that's a lot in a game of footy. So we'll have to assess that during the week and have a look and maybe speak to Hayden about how that rule looks.
Really pleasing to see guys like Harms, Hannon and also Pedersen, guys that probably don't get a lot of credit, really stand up when you guys needed them to.
Yeah, I thought, a younger forward line. It was a young forward line. Sam Wiedemann and Cam Pedersen provided great aerial contest for us. And those smaller guys, Harms and Neil Bullen and, Jeffy inside 50, they created great pressure for us in there for a lot of the day. So it was exciting. It was, Mitchie taking a couple of marks late was exciting. And, I think our fans, that was 53,000, which is our highest home and away crowd for a long, long time. Our supporters are really getting behind these younger guys.
Is there a common theme with those free kicks? They're all sort of pushing free kicks for Max Gawn. Is there anything you can do mid-game almost?
We'll have to have a look at it, John. Clearly he's doing something wrong. So it's coming either from us in terms of how, what Max is doing, or we just have to have a look at how the rule's written.
Salem and Watts, how did those guys go in the VFL, and are they sort of pressing their case as well?
Yeah, look, they both won plenty of the ball. I think they'll be judged like every other player in our list. We had some really strong performances at VFL level. Billy Stretch was outstanding. A young lad, Declan Kelty, was very, very good. So they'll be assessed like every other player, but it was pleasing that they both found a bit of the ball, but we'll have a bit more there, look at their game on tape.
You thought Wiedemann was pretty good, great tackles. Really felt like he held his place in the team.
Yeah, that's what he brings. He brings an aerial contest for us, and he can tackle extremely well. So when you've got a tall forward that can provide that for you, a pretty happy coach to have him in our forward 50.
On selection, how do you find that balance as a coach between allowing the players to express themselves and have confidence and backing them to actually being worried about their positions and going into their shells?
Yeah, it's a really good question. It's a challenge. I think you want to build belief and build confidence, but you certainly give players a period of time to improve, especially players that have played the game for a period of time and played it to a pretty high level. So you judge every player on their merits, but ultimately it's a pretty simple philosophy from a coaching group, about how we pick our team. And we picked players today that we felt were in form, and our best 22 was out there.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Excellent.